Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Madupe. I'm a corporate professional and I work within the financial services industry. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the habits that you should adopt to become better at your corporate job. Are you like a new grad? Are you starting a new role that's very different and you have to learn different skills? Well, then watch this video and these tips can actually help you become a better employee and actually help you learn things faster, and overall you just become better at your job. My number one tip will be to ask questions. Ask many questions. Now, the reason why this is important is that you don't assume that your manager or whoever you report to or whoever gives you the task, don't assume that they understand your whole knowledge. A lot of people that you will work with will not understand or know the knowledge that you have already within the job, and they will assume certain things. And because they've probably been there a while, they can't really remember all the specific details that you may not know or understand when they're giving you the task, just because they know so much. So they might forget to say certain things. Now, that's not their fault, and obviously that is most certainly not your fault. Hence why it's great to ask questions. So asking questions, don't think by asking a question, maybe you might think by asking a question you weren't listening properly. You may think by asking a question you don't understand things, or you're not capable, or it's nothing like that at all. This is part of learning. The best way you're going to learn and become better at your job is by asking questions. So one thing I do, I make sure that when I'm unsure about something, even if I can't ask a question in that moment, because the person I report to is actually a director, and often he's very busy on calls, and if I can't ask him a question in that moment, I write the question down so I don't forget. All these questions that you write down form part of your knowledge bank that you can then refer to later on. So it's so important to ask questions. It makes life a whole lot easier for you. And once I've got an answer to that question, I note it down and I try to remember it forever. This brings me on to my second tip, or the second habit that you should adopt. You need to write down notes. Now, starting a new job, starting a new role, even if you're actually currently in your role for a while, this might still be useful to you. You need to write down everything. I carry a notebook around with me, and especially with me starting a new role in a different firm, and I have no experience with for the role I'm actually currently doing, and there's a lot to learn. So, and I'm speaking to different people. So I have my notepad, writing down anything I hear that I feel like may be important, I jot it down. You may not understand it in the moment, but later on, your future self is going to actually thank you for writing these notes down, because certain things start to click, they start to connect. So it's really important to write things down. Like, there are things that I've written down, I go back to, I'm thinking, like, I could have a question in my head, but then I go back to my notes, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's right there. So write down everything you can. Obviously, you won't be able to catch everything everyone says, but write down in meetings, write down notes. When someone is telling you something, showing you a process, write it down. Do not be scared. Even sometimes ask them if they can give you a moment to just jot that thing down. Sometimes they might tell you, oh, there's no need, it's not important, and that's fine. You're new to the role. You don't know what could be important, what might not be important. So a lot of the notes you may write might not be important, but it's good to have it there. Some part of your notes will be important. So yeah, this has helped me a whole lot. Like with my new role, I have several documents that I've made. So I have a document where that captures different processes that I'm meant to do daily, weekly, monthly, processes that are important for me to know that I'm going to be in charge of. So I have notes on how to get them done, and I also have general notes on that's just anything that I've heard, anything that I feel is important, I've written down. So some of these notes I type them up, it's just much easier for me. Yeah, and I also have a document on like a glossary, so where keywords, with my new role there's a lot of keywords, financial terms that I need to understand to do my job properly. So I have a glossary page where I just write down all the definitions. And sometimes when there's downtime, this is something you can go over, and this has helped me a whole lot. Another habit you should adopt is that you should keep track of your emails. The emails that you've been CC'd in, obviously the emails that are directed to you, keep track of them and reply to them. But the emails you've been CC'd in, always look at them. Because another thing that's important about this is the emails you've been CC'd in is a train of information and back and forth and conversations between people that is very good for you to have that knowledge, because your manager or whoever you're reporting to will assume you actually have that knowledge. So they don't expect someone to come to you and tell you everything that's going on in the company. So you being CC'd in that email is a way for you to understand the type of conversations, the topics that are going on, and just understand your team much better. So the emails you've been CC'd in, do not be afraid to ask questions about them as well. Even though they're not directly to you, they're still very important. Another habit you should form is to understand what your daily tasks are. And so when I come into work, I need to understand, what are my daily tasks? What do I have to do today? Contact your manager. Make sure you understand what you're going to do for the day, what you're going to do for the week. Do not just focus on the day that you've completed. Also think about other days when you come into work, the rest of the week. What is it going to look like? It helps you get more prepared. It helps you understand what resources you might need, the people you might talk to, and it just gives you time to collect your thoughts and gather your thoughts together, rather than just coming in to work and you think, oh, what am I going to do today? And they tell you, oh, you're on this or you're on that. It just gives you that time to kind of adjust and get your thoughts together. Get into the habit of understanding what your daily tasks are, what you have for the week, at like an overview. Another habit to adopt is that anytime I finish working on a process or a task that I believe is new to me, I kind of do an overview at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, I look at, okay, what have I learned today? Try and think all the things I've done, all the steps I've taken today, try and replay them in my head. And that way I can actually find holes. Maybe there are things that actually, why did I do that? You write that question down. Do you understand what I'm saying? You need to be able to kind of go back and try and have an understanding of what you've done. Because when you're at work, you're just doing things, but sometimes you're not really processing, okay, why have I done this? If I'm given this task again, would I be able to do it by myself without asking for help? So just like an overview, depending on your role, depending on who you are, you can do a daily overview, a weekly overview. Every 2 weeks you can do overviews, but I think they're really, really important for you to just go over what you've learned, and anything you're confused about, you let your manager or whoever you report to know about this. Another habit you should form is kind of like a tip, and is relating back to asking questions. Anytime you ask a question, because I know there's some people, when they're asking a question face to face, they can find it difficult to formulate their question. They can have like nerves in the moment. If you're speaking to someone that is a lot more senior than you, one thing you can do is try to formulate your question in an email, or try and write your question down. So that way you can gather your thoughts, because if you haven't thought about your question properly and you're just asking it, the person that you're asking the question to, they might not understand what you're asking them. So once you formulate it on paper, you can really understand, okay, why am I asking them? Why am I asking them this? Does it make sense? Will someone be able to understand what I'm asking them? So definitely formulate your question. I do this a lot. Before I ask a question, I write it down or I type it in an email. I believe it's just easier for me, and I can just flesh out what I'm trying to say. Now, the last tip will just be, take each day at a time. I know it can be overwhelming when you're a new graduate, you're starting a new role, or you're earning your career, you're trying to find your feet. It can be very, very overwhelming when you're in this job and you're just trying to prove yourself, and you're just trying to learn as much as possible and, impress people, or just develop yourself a bit more. So what you need to do, just take each day at a time. I don't think about the workload that I have for the next 2-3 days. And I don't, in terms of like, what I mean by that is that I don't let it overwhelm me. Not that I don't think about it, like I think about it in terms of, just understand if there's any requirements I may need or any information I may need, but do not think about it whereby it overwhelms you. Take each day at a time. Let tomorrow's problems worry about themselves. Today, try and understand, okay, what have I got for today? What do I need to get done today? And that's all you need to worry about. And then the next day, you just take each day at a time, and it helps you, it helps your mental health. It makes you happier. It makes you feel more in control as well. You don't want to feel overwhelmed and overworked, and you don't want to be overthinking. These are not good things, and this will actually demotivate you for negative impact on your performance. So definitely take each day at a time. Another habit that you should adopt is I always set boundaries for myself. So when I'm on weekends, I make sure I don't think about work. I try not to think about work until I have work. Even if it's a Saturday, if it's a Sunday, a day before work, I still don't think about work. You need those boundaries to have a healthy lifestyle. Once it's 5 o'clock, once it's 5:30, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever time you finish, you need to be able to separate yourself from work and do things that you love outside work. You can't be thinking about work 24/7. This is not healthy for mentally, physically, it's just not healthy. So keep boundaries, try your best not to think about work. You're not paid for those hours that you're, not working. So why are you thinking about work? So those are my tips, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you love this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm not gonna know if you like this video or this type of content if you did not comment or like, so please do, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.